Good morning, doggone it. Good afternoon, dagnabbit. Good evening, son of a gun. It's Taco Tuesday. Yeah, it's the 30th of September, 2025. These are the WTF reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist, and hey, media, listen up. You won't be trusted anymore. You know, there's an old saying that a lie needs another lie for support, but the truth will stand alone. And those words are very true. Anyway, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist, and as always, the WTF Reports are brought to you in part by the Wave Watch, and I know I keep rattling that cage and screaming from the rooftops. Well, I'm trying to get everybody to pay attention to how important it is. That frequency is everything, just like Tesla said. And that Royal Raymond Rife took that and ran with it, created Rife technology, and that's what the Wave Watch is all about. It's a Rife machine you wear on your wrist. And if you haven't checked it out, I don't know what you're waiting for. This is some good stuff. I'm not saying it's going to cure or treat anything, but it sure as heck is helping me with a couple of issues. And people who I've loaned this watch to have said the same thing. So, hey, check it out. The Wave Watch. Just visit our website, TheWTFReports.com, and click on the sponsors page. Actually, there's a pop-up there. It'll take you right down to the information about the Wave Watch. And if you don't believe me, then just do some searching. Go to YouTube and do your own research. Anyway, that said, okay, the big story right now is, of course, the looming government shutdown. And I'll tell you, the internet is forever. It absolutely is forever. And right off the bat, let me see, I got a bunch of clips. I went through, I've been collecting audio receipts for, a couple of years now. I have folders and folders and folders. Every day that I do the show, I create a folder, and I have all the audio clips that I play on that show. And so, sometimes, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I got about a dozen clips queued up for today's show. I had a bunch of them yesterday, and it goes on and on. So every single day, I've got all these audio clips going back for, almost 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. And the thing is, as I said, the internet is forever. So I just went through, and I've been listening to all of the arguments being made right now for this government shutdown, and I listened to the hypocrisy, unbelievable hypocrisy. Of course, a lot of it is revolving around all the extra money that the Democrats are pushing for. Now, keep in mind that several months ago, USAID and the DOGE efforts and all that, and all those funds were cut, and all that money was cut off. So now the Democrats are trying to figure out some other way to get that money to keep some of those programs going. And that's what's holding it up. Now, they're blaming the Republicans. Oh, the Republicans are going to do this, and you're not going to have your health care, and it's all going to be taken away. And the Republicans are trying to take away your health care benefits. No, they're trying to take away the benefits of the illegal aliens. Anyway, Tim Burchett, he gives it out in a nutshell. Here's what Tim Burchett said yesterday in regard to this looming government shutdown. Listen to what he said. Oh, well, come on. I hate when that happens. Let's do this. And there. Here we go.
Hey, everybody. Congressman Tim Burchett. Everybody's asking about what's going on with the Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer shutdown. As you know, we passed, the Republicans in the House and one Democrat passed a bill to keep the government open. And it was what's called a clean CR. We don't like them. We need to pass a real budget, but it's better than what the Democrats had. And what do the Democrats want to do? They want a huge $1.5 trillion spending hike of your tax dollars that we're probably having to borrow anyway. Reinstatement of free health care for illegals.
Bingo.
We know there's funding for transgender surgeries, both here and out of the country. $500 million to prop up liberal news outlets. Why in the world are we propping up these liberal news outlets? I remember when NPR said what was their definition of propaganda was Lee Greenwood singing "God Bless the USA." You can go back and watch the hearing where I asked those questions. It cuts a historic $50 billion investment for rural health care. So they want to cut, say you're a mother having to give birth out in a rural area and you can't get to a hospital or anything, and this is cutting that aid to them to give to illegals, and billions of dollars for foreign countries for these climate projects they're working on, which we know are completely bogus. This is a nightmare. And why is Schumer doing this? My theory is that he sees AOC in his rearview mirror. Is going to take him on for the Senate, and he's got to throw the most liberal garbage out there and attack us the only way that some of these far lefties in New York understand. And he's going to shut the country down to do it, both him and Hakeem Jeffries. So it's pitiful. We need better, and that's what the heck's going on.
Okay, now that's Tim Burchett yesterday. Now there is, let me see here. There was,
on behalf of...
Whoa, I hate when that happens. I'm scrolling through here, all of the different posts, and there's another comment here. I can't seem to find it, but that's okay. I'll get to that. Anyway, the point is that this is the same continuing resolution that the Democrats have passed last time. Everything is pretty much the same. But as Tim Burchett was saying, there are alternative motives there. And let's be a little historical here. We're going to go back a few years. And, you just heard Tim Burchett mentioning Schumer, okay? And the issue here is the immigration, okay? They want to have free health care for the illegal immigrants, okay? Let that settle in, okay? That's what they're talking about right now. However, you turn the clock back about 20 years, like I said, the internet is forever. And here's what Chucky Wucky Schumer was saying about 20 years ago.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Okay, so the point is, the fraud he was talking about is the Social Security. Okay, and that their Social Security cards under Biden, I mean, they were handing them out like candy. All these illegal immigrants ended up with Social Security cards. In the last year of Biden administration, he gave out over 2 million Social Security cards. Anyway, so, and here's another clip from Chucky Schumer. Here it is.
If the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most. A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos.
That's a lie.
As the Social Security Administration limits certain services like benefit verifications or fixing errors in payments. Our veterans could see regional VA offices shut down and support services put on halt. Some of our military service members could be forced to work without pay. Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs could see benefits halted.
Scared, be very scared, be terrified. How about Pelosi? Where is your stand on this, Nancy?
Broken borders. That's an oxymoron, something we can't tolerate. Borders of their nature, our definition as a nation, and our protection as a country. Broken borders, they don't exist. We can't tolerate them. So let's say from the start that we all in this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats, support strong border control.
Wow.
And it must be part, and the first part, of any comprehensive immigration reform.
I got to pause that. You hear what she said? I'm gobsmacked. That was like 20 years ago. And now you look at, under the Biden administration, they did exactly the opposite. Flip-flop. No wonder so many Democrats are leaving the Democratic Party, because that's not the party that they were many, many years ago. What happened to them? I don't know. The people are saying, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me.
It is our obligation as elected officials to keep the American people safe, and our borders are our first line of defense, one of our early lines of defense to do that. Democrats support also enforcing current laws against those who came here illegally and those who hire illegal immigrants.
Ooh.
Yet the Bush administration has refused to do just this. Imagine that for all of this talk about illegal immigration to the United States and going after those workers who are working here illegally, and we should, but we also must have employer sanctions. Where are these people working?
Oh, did you hear that? That's exactly what Trump is trying to do right now. And of course, the Democrats are condemning him for it. You talk about hypocrisy.
Why are we not enforcing the law against employers who hire illegal, undocumented people here? The Bush administration has prosecuted only 3 employer-sanctioned cases in the last fiscal year. Only 3 cases. When are we going to take this issue seriously? Mr. Speaker, we all know what we must do. Democrats have long called for strong border security, effective law enforcement, and for comprehensive immigration reform. In all that we must do at elected officials, we have the responsibility to make the American people safer and to make America stronger.
Unbelievable. It's staggering. It is staggering. The hypocrisy, how they flipped, how they completely turned around because Orange Man bad. Yeah.
We believe in governance. We want to keep government open. A shutdown is very serious.
There are real consequences when the government shuts down.
That's Maxine Waters you're hearing. First you heard Nancy Pelosi, now it's Maxine Waters.
It harms our national security, it harms our economy, and it harms service members, veterans, retirees, and vulnerable communities.
We all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable.
The tragedy here is all the civilian employees. It is the American people who are going to suffer.
Border Patrol agents will not be paid. TSA agents will not be paid. Small businesses will be hurt.
Not only is it irresponsible and purposely misleading, it is dangerous precedent to be threatening a shutdown.
There are real people's lives at stake.
It is not normal to hold 800,000 workers' paychecks hostage. It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
Our troops deserve better. Our children deserve better. And the American people deserve better.
These chaos agents, they don't have a plan B. They just want to see everything burn.
Shutdown is an extremist policy designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country hostage.
So this shutdown, you know who's going to feel the pain? You know who it hurts? You.
So they're using scare tactics now. Okay, now let me remind you that this package is the same CR, the same continuing resolution that's been on the table for the past, 10 sessions or something like that? And the Republicans already passed it as is. So it already passed, what was it, 6 months ago? They went through this crap again. But the point is that the Democrats are holding it up because they want all these extra billions of dollars to give free health care to the illegal immigrants and transsexual surgery to those individuals who want it. And not only that, but it's not just here in the United States, it's overseas, as Tim Burchett was saying, all these liberal policies and sending money overseas. And again, I couldn't help but think that this could be because all their U.S. aid money has been cut off. So let me see. There's even more of them here. Let me see. George Bush, Hillary Clinton, Obama. Yeah, here we go.
There is a legal way to do it, so you don't have to sneak across in the first place. VIP.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
Every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers.
Okay, that's Bill Clinton.
That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Wow.
Even as we are a nation of immigrants,
here's Obama.
We're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons.
Okay, can you smell the hypocrisy? I can. Unreal. Now, let me see. What else have I got here? Let me see. Senator Mullen. I forget what he had to say. I saved it, so it must have had something interesting here. Here it is.
Well, isn't this the same CR, the same spending levels that you voted for in September?
Bingo.
The same spending levels that you voted for in December? So what has changed? What's changed is you have President Trump in office rather than President Biden in office. Because there's no other argument you can have here. They weren't willing to shut it down. They were okay with these numbers two other times, but this is in 2024. Now that Trump's in office, it's their hatred towards Trump that they're willing to shut down the government for. It's absurd. Why wouldn't they support the policies, the numbers that they voted for underneath Biden?
It's the same doggone thing. But, as I was saying, there's a reason behind it. What's the reason? Orange man bad. That's why. They just can't stand Orange Man. Okay, let me see. I'll tell you what. Yeah, why not? I'm going to open up the phone lines, and it's 215-867-8255. 215-867-8255. And I remind you that this is a broadcast that goes out live from 2:05 Eastern Time, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time until 3, and that's 11:05 a.m. Pacific Time. Do the math for the time zones in between. So if you're listening during those time zones, yeah, we're live and you can call in. But, yeah, this broadcast goes out on replay several times on the network. So anyway, so if you want to call in, you can do that. 215-867-8255. Let me see. I could keep on banging this drum. I got a couple more clips here, but anyway, I think you get the general idea, the gist of it here. The Democratic Party is using scare tactics and lying, saying, yes, Americans are going to lose their health care benefits. No, not the Americans. The issue is the illegal immigrants. But you see, all the folks out there that are trying to pump the fear, they're not saying that part of it. They don't even use the word, immigrants, legal or otherwise. They're just saying Americans are going to lose it. No, they're not. But anyway, so, yeah, I don't know that, like I keep saying, the stench of their hypocrisy curls my nose hairs. Okay, let's see. Okay, tell you what. You want to know why I'm on the media's butt all the time, why I'm always railing, and I've been doing so for 30 flaming years, is because they lie. They're liars. That's what they do.
They lied.
They lied.
They lied about the virus.
Yes.
About the death toll.
Yes.
About the treatments.
Yes.
About the vaccines.
Yes.
About the masks.
Yes.
About the testing.
Yes.
About the passports.
Yes.
About everything.
Yes.
They lied.
Yes.
While censoring the truth.
Yes.
While gaslighting the injured.
Yes.
While politicians partied and the media clapped along. No one has been held to account.
Nope.
No one has apologized.
Nope.
No one has even admitted what they did was wrong.
Nope.
And yet we're expected to move on,
No.
to forget, to pretend it was all well-intentioned. But for some of us, the damage is permanent. Our faith in public health, government, science, media, gone. So no, we're not moving on, we're not forgetting, and we're sure as hell not staying silent.
Good. And I hope you listeners out there aren't going to stay silent either. I'm sure as heck not. Doing this for a long time, but I'm so frustrated with so many people that I know. I mean, there's only a handful of people that we can even discuss issues with. Now, I'm a personable kind of guy. I like hanging out with people. I'm not I'm not a hermit. I don't keep to myself. I mean, for the most part during the day, yeah, I stick at home. I look at the news. I read. But in the evening, yeah, I need to decompress after looking at all this heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. So I go down to the local VFW where the veterans hang out, and I'll sit and talk about superfluous, important topics. Of course, they want to talk about the football game last night, or they want to talk about what happened in town. Oh yeah, did you hear there was a fire down the street or something like that? But as far as talking about issues, and as far as talking about real stuff. There's that old saying, it's not polite conversation if you're going to talk about politics or religion. Well, see, unfortunately, that's the way it is with an overwhelming majority of the American public. And, when you think about it, if you turn the clock back several hundred years before we had a free press, how did information get around in the towns and the villages, in the kingdom or in the countries? How did information get around when you didn't have a free press and you didn't have telephones, you didn't have radio or television? How did information get around in the kingdom? Well, that would be up to the traveling minstrels and the puppeteers. And people would sit around the tavern and tip a few pints and talk about stuff that was going on in the community. They would talk about it. That's the key. They would talk about it. Bring up issues. If you disagree, you talk it out. That's one of the reasons why Charlie Kirk was so popular, because he didn't want to have conflict. He said, let's sit down and talk about it. Have an open dialogue. But that's shunned these days. For some reason, there are people that just don't want you talking about it. As a matter of fact, a couple days ago, I mean, God bless Charlie Kirk, for setting the standard. But now there are a lot of people that are out there saying, I am Charlie Kirk. I am Charlie Kirk. I'm Charlie Kirk. They all want to engage in conversation so that we can progress. Well, there were two guys that decided to set up a table and basically do the same thing that Charlie Kirk was doing. Okay, so these two guys, and they happened to be white, and yes, they were wearing those red hats. They set up a table, and they just had a sign there that said, let's talk about it. What happened? A huge, angry mob of black people came and started to attack them. I mean, literally attack them, physically. And they had to run for their lives. They had to jump into the car. There were police there that was trying to keep back these throngs of rabid madmen that were, trying to kill these two kids because they wanted to talk. This is where we're at in this country. People are so caught up in their emotions, their common sense, and their, cognitive skills are gone. But, it's, here's a little, an audio clip about what happened. Let me see. Here it is.
You're not going to believe this. A man was handcuffed and dragged out of a Turning Point USA event for asking about Israel.
Okay, I'm going to pause that. Okay, this is a related issue, okay? Like I just mentioned, these two guys were going to, they were trying to instigate conversation, not instigate violence or hatred. They just wanted to talk about it. But you see, the thing is that there are restrictions on what you can and can't talk about, And this may sound unrelated, but it is basically what's going on. There are certain things that you cannot talk about. And here it is.
You're not going to believe this. a man was handcuffed and dragged out of a Turning Point USA event for asking about Israel, asking a simple question about Israel. He stood up and asked Tucker Carlson, why is it that when people criticize Israel, they end up on a list or labeled as anti-Semitic? Tucker said that's a valid question.
Can I burn an American flag in my country, but I get it marked by my name if I burn Israel's? Like, how?
I think that's an entirely fair question. You got 65 million people here illegally, according to the administration, and the only ones who are deported are ones who criticize a foreign country? I don't understand it.
Asking questions, folks. Just asking questions. I asked Tucker Carlson a question last night. People seem to like it. I got job opportunities after it. Yep, off we go.
But minutes later, security moved in and cuffed him and escorted him out. That's where we are right now, people. You can't even ask a question or criticize Israel, and here's why it matters.
Listen up.
There's a bill called the Anti-Semitic Awareness Act, and it's written so broadly that it treats almost any criticism of Israel's government as hate speech. They've blurred the line between calling out a government and attacking an entire race of people. It's not anti-Semitic to question policy. It's not anti-Semitic, or it's not even hate to demand accountability. But it doesn't stop there. Another bill, H.R. 5300, the Department of State Policy Provisions Act, gives the government the power to revoke or deny your passport if they say you've supported the wrong cause or criticized the wrong country. That means your freedom to travel, to move, to live your own life could be taken away because of your speech. We can criticize our own government all day long. That's our right as Americans, and we should be just as free to ask questions about any other government that we send billions of dollars to. That's not hate speech, that's citizenship. But if we start living in a country where asking questions gets you cuffed and speaking truth gets you punished, then free speech isn't free anymore. Because when the government decides who can and who can't criticize, that's not democracy. Sorry.
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, I remember, 20-odd years ago when I was doing the Power Hour, I was having an interview with Cynthia McKinney at the time. She was, a member of Congress. And she basically came out and told us that before you even get into Congress, and once you're elected, okay, before they swear you in, you have to sign a loyalty oath to Israel. You can't, wait a minute. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. And Rick Sanchez, who used to be with CNN, but CNN didn't like the fact that he was practicing journalism. No. They're propagandists. And if you're a real journalist and you're asking questions, no, they can't have that. So CNN fired him. And so RT opened the door and says, hey, look, you want to talk about stuff? Come on over to us. So I guess that made Rick Sanchez a Russian agent. I guess Larry King, before he passed, he was doing shows on RT. I guess Larry King is a Russian agent. And then Governor Jesse Ventura. They didn't like what he was saying domestically, so RT says, hey, we'll give you a show. And I guess that makes Governor Jesse Ventura a Russian agent. And then there's Chris Hedges, Pulitzer Prize-winning writer for the New York Times, because he's a journalist, and New York Times doesn't like journalists, so they let him go. Well, guess what? Chris Hedges ended up with a show on RT, so I guess that makes him a Russian agent. Should I go on? Sean Stone, Russian agent. So Rick Sanchez, he was reporting, I guess this was about 6-7 months ago. Did you know that there are 36 states that have passed laws that say you cannot boycott Israel? Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about the control that the Israeli government. I'm not going to say Jews. No, the Israeli regime, the Zionist regime. That's a big difference. And again, the powers that be, they just don't like the idea that people are figuring out that there is a difference between Zionism and Judaism. They don't want you. They just want to clump it all together. If you criticize Israel, then you are an anti-Semite. Nope, that's not the way it works. Not at all. As a matter of fact, let me see. There was another thing here I want to do. Let me see. Where is it? Yesterday. yesterday's show? Let me see. I'm trying to pull up a clip from yesterday. Like I said, I got these folders with all of these, comments from all these different people. I guess it wasn't on yesterday's show. Oh, well, never mind. But anyway, so there are a lot of folks out there that, looking at organizations like the Anti-Defamation League. I call them the Anti-Defecation League because they're full of crap. But they're trying to label anybody who criticizes Israel as an anti-Semite. And they're trying to label anybody who supports, make America great again. I guess that's an anti-Semitic statement as well. This is just crazy. And I think that that they are desperate right now. I've noticed so many new accounts on social media platforms that are super pro-Israel. All of a sudden, over the past few weeks, especially since after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, a lot of people are saying, a lot of people, you're an anti-Semite if you're, criticizing Israel. And, it's overwhelming. And I can't help but think that they are in super damage control, and they got all these bots out there that are, supportive of Israel, kill Hamas, kill all the Palestinians, Now, again, I don't support Hamas. It seems that Bibi Netanyahu supports them. He's been sending them money through Qatar for the past several years. I saw yesterday that $1.3 million was funneled through Qatar and then back to Hamas. And I'm not surprised. You got to have a boogeyman. Anyway, okay, gonna take a quick break.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page, and it'll take you down to a little area where you can click on Get More Tank and read all about the specifications and details of how and why this fuel catalyst works. It's not a fuel additive, it's a catalyst. And that's a totally different thing. It makes your engine run much more efficiently at a lower temperature. It cleans your engine, which means fewer emissions. That's good for the environment. And you'll notice right away within your first tank, after you take that first tablet and put it in the tank, within a tank you're going to notice that when you hit the gas, your car goes. Whoa! And then after about 3 or 4 tanks, that's when you start to see the improved mileage. And I'll tell you, depending upon your make, model, and year, and your driving habits, you're going to see anywhere between 15 and 20% improvement in your mileage, which means if you buy a package of Get More Tank, and it's the cost is $22.22, but you get 10% off when you use the promo code REDPILL101, and use the promo code, so that's $20. You get 5 tablets, and if you see 20% better mileage, that means that your 5th tank is free. One purchase for $20, you end up with a free tank of gas. That's a no-brainer, folks. If you haven't tried Get More Tank, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please visit our website, TheWTFReports.com, and then check out Get More Tank. You'll be glad that you did. All right, that said, I'm trying to see here. We got about 20 minutes left of the program. Again, the phone line here is open, 215-867-8255. If you feel like calling in, you got something you want to belly up to the telephone bar, now's the time to do it. Now, getting back to this issue about Charlie Kirk's assassination, I hope and I pray that listeners out there and Americans all over the country do not succumb to the attention span deficit syndrome. Unfortunately, most Americans have the attention span of a potato, and after about 2 weeks, the major issues seem to just, dissipate. They go away. We can't let that happen with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, this is real simple 101 logic, folks. 101. This is very, very simple. Okay? Either they have a lone gunman who pulled this off, and they're saying it's Tyler Robinson. Either he pulled this off, or this is a very well-planned, choreographed, executed, state-sponsored assassination. It's as simple as that. It's either or. Now, we look at the official story, the official narrative, and the more you look at it, the more it's absolutely ridiculous. In their own words, all the stuff that the FBI is putting out, it doesn't make sense. And anybody with half of a brain cell can figure this out. So, if the FBI is lying, if the FBI is covering up, then that means that it's not a lone shooter issue. It means it is a very well-planned, well-organized, well-choreographed, state-sponsored execution. Now, if it's a state-sponsored execution, then which state would be executing the execution? Let those wheels turn for a little bit, folks. Now, I know that's taking you in a direction, and it takes people in a direction that the powers that be don't want you to go. The powers that be want you to say, Tyler Robinson killed him. Tyler Robinson. We have to execute Tyler Robinson. Robinson did it. Robinson did it. Robinson, Tyler Robinson did it. And this is where they're going with it, folks. They want you to keep on, a lie told often enough becomes the truth. And it's so obvious to anybody who can think. It's so blatantly in your face obvious. So if they're lying, if they're covering up, none of this stuff makes sense. And I got to tell you, Ian Carroll has been doing an incredible job of investigating this. Also, Ryan Mata. He's, and all the other researchers out there. This isn't an era like it was when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, or when Robert Kennedy was assassinated, or when Martin Luther King was assassinated, or when John Lennon was assassinated, or when whoever was assassinated. Now we have, we have the internet. And not only do we have the internet, but now people are using ChatGPT and Grok to figure this stuff out. And this is blowing up in the faces of the perpetrators, because it's not hard to figure this stuff out. Now, there's a lot of theories out there, and I've been saying since day one, my focus has been to look at the official story, the official narrative. Once the official narrative is proven to be false, then we can start looking at all the different possibilities of what happened. But right now, like I said, we're almost 3 weeks after the assassination, and yes, the official narrative has completely disintegrated. So now we could start looking at what happened and considering all the different conspiracy theories. All right, we got a caller on the line. Good day, good afternoon. Who is it? And listen to your phone. Turn down your device.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, this is Cynthia in California. I sent you an email because when I'm hearing you talk about how there's control of our media, the formal control started in 1909 with the Imperial Press Conference, where the British Empire, and especially the city of London, recruited news people from all over the planet to come to a big conference.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Oh, you're looking at my email?
Yeah, it's the AmericansForInnovation.com/research.
Right. The man who runs that site has a company called Leader Technologies that spent millions of dollars developing the software for social networking, and it was stolen by his patent attorney who had extensive connections with the Department of Defense,
Mm-hmm.
and there was on his board who was a retired spy, and he didn't realize the man's background was a problem. And they basically gave it to other companies to set up Facebook. So there's been DOD influence all along,
Mm-hmm.
and control from the City of London of our news media.
Well, that's no surprise.
And that foreign control, we're not going to be a free country. I mean, we're almost done for now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Yeah, a lot of folks are just now becoming aware of the controls that the British government has had over our country. It's not just them; it's also the Israelis. Oh, by the way, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Do you have your device on or something?
You know, I can call one number, and the other number is supposed to go on hold. But that's the only thing. Is it the having the other call on hold? Is that causing it?
Don't know. I'm just getting an echo back of my own voice, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the British, the monarchy controls a company called Serco, S-E-R-C-O, which controls our patent office.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been stealing patents from American inventors for decades. These people have been stealing our intelligence wealth. And I am so disappointed because Donald Trump has not done anything, and that is not Donald Trump. Let's put that out there again.
Yeah.
It's not Donald Trump. It's been since 1989, you know, and whoever is in the administrations, none of them have protected our patent, our creative, brilliant Americans who have patented. And they're talking now about there may be this huge Carrington type event, and we should have established different forms of electrical energy production so that each house has their own. And there are people who've done that, but, you know, they've mysteriously died suddenly, you know, or quieted them down somehow.
Yeah.
And we can say to think about demanding their county leaders insist that the state legislators step up to the plate and get the feds under control. Audit the entire federal government for, you know, waste and abuse, going back as far as we need to go. Somebody was pointing out that the first bank, which George Washington allowed to be started at the national level, was actually funded by a family that made their money selling opium in China.
Mm.
Oh my! What a legacy to have.
Yeah, I know.
It's time to stop hero worshiping that man and take a close look at what they did and try to start sorting it out and making amends to the Native Americans and making amends to the other cultures that we were used as a bully boy. Just like Smedley Butler said, we're the bully boy.
Yeah, that's true. Smedley Butler was spot on many years ago. And I got to say, I've been saying this for years, you know, any system that is dependent upon deception for its continuation is destined to fail. And this is where we are. About our entire, you know, Western civilization is based upon deception. And sooner or later, it's going to collapse, you know. And I think that we're right on the edge right about now. We'll have to see.
Well, we don't want chaos.
No.
So we need to ban. You don't want chaos because out of it will come their version of order.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I got to tell you, by the way, I don't know if you've seen any of the documentary films that Nick Alvear has put out there. He said the greatest story ever told, part 1, part 2, and part 3 was just released. And I stayed up last night and watched the whole thing. And if you haven't seen the greatest story ever told, seek it out. You can find it at goodlionfilms.com. Goodlionfilms.com. The greatest story ever told, part 3. He gets heavily into the history of Israel and, you know, all of the Ashkenazis, the Khazarians, puts all the puzzle pieces together.
And Henry Mackau puts the icing on the cake, and he believes that Hitler was a Rothschild agent intended to strengthen the German nation, lead them into wars, even ones that look like they didn't intend to be in. But to try to invade Mother Russia in the winter is a very bad idea. a very bad idea. And he was intended to throw them under the bus eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to really monitor who is allowed to lead our military. And I'm asserting that the military can't be honoring any orders from the White House because that is not who we thought we voted for.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting situation. And I hope they'll get rid of all the dual citizens who are in the upper ranks of the military. But with Hegseth in charge, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, well, we need to get rid of all the dual citizens in every aspect of government, including Congress, the Senate, military, you name it. You cannot serve two masters. Simple as that. You either stand for America or you stand for Israel. You can't have it both ways.
Well, I want our military to stand for America, and I want them to hew to the Constitution and do like Butler says, stay home and protect us.
Yeah, well, you remember, what was it, Ilhan Omar made a speech, what was it, about a year ago, and she was speaking to a group of Somalians, and she was speaking in her native tongue, and she was basically saying that I'm so happy to be able to in the United States Congress because I can represent the interests. I'm paraphrasing right now, but she was saying I can basically stand for Somalia here. And Marjorie Taylor Greene rightfully called Ilhan Omar on the carpet and said, look, you can't support two different countries if you're in Congress. And everybody, all the conservatives says, yeah, that's right. That's yeah. But why does that not apply to the dual citizenships of all the members of Congress who are also citizens of Israel? Now, this is not to say I hate Jews. Don't go down the anti-Semitic path again. But you cannot serve two masters. It's one or the other. Simple. Anyway, I don't know. Did you go? Are you gone?
Well, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just sitting back so you can expand your thoughts.
Yeah, I went on a little rant there, so. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up here, Cynthia. You got anything else?
Well, yeah, I'll get back to you by email on it because there may be more to the story regarding something called Morgellons. It may have an association with similar structures that exist inside of us and may be directed via HARP. There's an assertion out there that I've never seen before, and I'm exploring it with a friend who's got a degree in physics, a master's in physics, has more expertise in those areas. I'm wondering how that could be possible, but
well, 20 years ago, when I was with Joyce and we were, the American Gulf War Veterans Association, we had a lot of veterans who were suffering from Morgellons disease. And we're trying. Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. And the thing is that it could have a link to nanotechnology. All right?
Absolutely. By the way, boron is believed to help make that go away.
Yes.
And boron is as cheap as buying 24 mule team borax.
Yep, I got a box of it in my bathroom. Yeah, 20 mule team borax. Yeah, get some. Take a bath. Put some in there. That and Epsom salts. Oh gosh, what was the third one? Oh yeah, diatomaceous earth. That's always good too.
This is the first I've heard about Morgellons in our veterans.
Oh yeah, that goes way back. Yeah, that's.
Then run past Mike Gaddy.
What's that?
Do you communicate with Michael Gaddy?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've heard of the gentleman, but no, I haven't had a connection. No.
Yeah, he's also had a significant history of working with vets, especially missing vets that he believes were deliberately left behind by our country.
Yeah.
Also disabled vets, I believe.
Yeah, I remember we were meeting with vets all through the late 90s and early 2000s, and this Morgellons issue was horrible because these guys felt that their skin was crawling, and they'd have this weird, like a hair that would stick out of their skin, and it was just horrible. It was like a nightmare. So I don't know, other than that, like I said, there were a lot of vets that were suffering with that.
Thank you for that heads up on that because I had never heard that.
Yeah.
I'll try and get you and Mike Gaddy together. He's got a Substack. You can communicate to him on there. I don't think he requires people to sign up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have a Substack, that's becoming a popular way of also networking.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get something to you by email.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, there's actually a verse in one of my songs about the chemtrails that has to do with the Morgellons disease. Let me see if I can cue that up. I'll play it right now. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for the call. I'm almost out of time here.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can find that verse in here. There was a song I did, it's called Another Day, A Cloudless Sky. It was all about the chemtrails, and let me see here if I can find that one verse. Let me see, I'm going to start playing it from here. Let me see.
After paying doctors' fees.
Here it is.
Now have a diagnosis. It's an emerging new disease. They call it now Morgellons.
Morgellons.
And they don't know what to do. Are nanomicrobes in your town?
Nanomicrobes.
Are they affecting you? Yes, it's another day. It's a cloudless sky. But it only lasts until the planes fly by.
Yeah, that's a song I wrote, I guess it was around 20 years ago. And by the way, if you enjoy the politically incorrect, in-your-face, you lying SOB government music that I wrote all those years ago, it's out there for free. No, I don't want your money. No, it's not about the money. It's not about the accolades. It's not about the ego strokes. It's out there for free. So go to YouTube and do a little search. Just put on my name, Dave vonKleist, VONKLEIST. You'll find all these songs free.
Those with blatant symptoms,
after paying doctors' fees, now have a diagnosis. It's an emerging new disease. They call it now Morgellons, and they don't know what to do. Are nanomicrobes in your town? Are they affecting you? Yes, it's another day. It's a cloudless sky, but it only lasts until the planes fly by.
As time goes by,
as time goes by,
your body aches.
Your body aches.
You break a sweat.
You break a sweat.
And you get the shade.
Oh.
The doctors say it's the way you feel. It's in your head.
Yeah, it's all in your head, yeah.
No, it isn't real.
No, you're imagining things, that's what it is.
And those not understanding, so they turn the other way, dismissing those who suffer and ignoring what they say. And those with condescension will continue not to care until they look upon their arm and find an oily hair. Yes, it's another day.
Oh, yeah. So check it out. Another Day, A Cloudless Sky. That's the name of that song. Oh, gosh, I can't believe I wrote that all those years ago. Oh, my gosh. How did I know? I don't know, folks. I really don't. But anyway, again, if you like this, if you want to hear some more of that music, just go to YouTube and search it out. It's out there for free. Oh, man. What a day, huh? We're just going to have to see how things are going to unfold. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday version of the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist. Please patronize our sponsors. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. If you want to make a donation, we have a GoFundMe there, too. That said, we're about done. I'll be back again tomorrow with more of the news they hope and pray you never hear. So stay safe, stay free. God bless you all, and I will see you tomorrow.